April is Safe Digging Month, but it's so important to make sure you dig safe year round, and there's no one better here to talk about that than Miss JP Dunbar, Damage Prevention Coordinator of Louisiana 811, and Miss Kaia Simmons, Manager of Public Affairs for Atmos Energy. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio today.
Thank
Thank you so
having
much
us.
for having me.
So this is such a special time. You guys come every year to talk about it, but people knowing how to dig correctly does not need to go overlooked. Tell me, what should people know, not just in April, but all the time, of how to dig properly?
Go ahead.
Well, it's really essential and very important that people don't miss an opportunity to call 811. We want to protect the underground infrastructure of all of the utilities that are underground, but at the same time save lives. So knowing to dial 811 before 2 business days before your project begins is essential.
Yes.
Have you noticed any situations where people may start a project and then run into a problem and then call 811?
Well, at that point, it's a little too late, but that's the whole purpose that we're here. April is National Safe Digging Month, and we also do a campaign for 811 Day, but that's later in August. But we're here to also resonate the message that safe digging is throughout the year. So we will be doing more messages to the community. We do school visits. We have some events planned in the community as well, which I'd love to tell you about, just to remind people spring is coming, and we know that people are going to be out in their yards doing all sorts of digging, even contractors or construction work, home builders. We need to have everyone call 811. Most people don't realize that most of the disruption of service or damage to our underground utilities is caused by third-party damages, which means either contractors or homeowners or things of that nature not calling 811.
And so tell me more about how Atmos Energy and Louisiana 811 are hand in hand in this.
Well, the call begins when someone starts by dialing 811 or visiting our website at louisiana811.com to request a ticket. Once they place that call, the call is sent to our one call center where operators assist the caller with putting in the ticket, and then that information is sent out to all of the utilities in the area. Those companies send out their locators to place different colors of paint on the ground or flags that indicate what might be underground. So that's where the process starts. And then, of course, there's a few rules that people might want to abide by. That would be making sure that when they see that paint, that they consider 18 inches on either side of that mark. And in the case that they need to dig in that area, that they do so with hand tools and use precaution. So that's basically how the process starts. And might I say, this is not a recommendation. This is Louisiana law. This is the law. So not only can an individual be cited for not abiding by the law, but of course it could cost some costly damages.
And it's so important that you guys are here, because people may think it's my, tool, it's my yard, I'm just going to go outside and start digging, but you can't do that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean,
right.
it's all about safety and preventative measures. You're putting yourself and your community at risk when you don't call 811 and locate those lines in advance. And you, as a responsible homeowner or a responsible contractor, you want to know where those utility lines lie.
And with that, Atmos and Louisiana 811, there are some events, some outreach going on to further help the push of safe digging. Tell me about what's to come.
Yes, we do a lot of public messaging, and we partner with our dear friend here from Louisiana 811. Thank you, JP, for joining in with all the things that we have going on. We have some amazing events coming up where we'll be in front of some Home Depots and some Lowe's, and specific to Ascension Parish, we will be at Louisiana Nursery on Highway 42 on April 5th. 11 to 2, and we will have food trucks there, and other utility companies are invited to table the event and give out some swag and some important information about their companies as well.
Yes, and definitely bring out the little people. We love having the little people. They're little sponges, so they like to soak up and help in the yard with mom and dad, and they know also they need the importance of understanding calling 811 before you dig.
Speaking of little people, we have our friend here, Gus.
Can't forget about Gus.
That's right. Hi, Gus. Gus is our character that reminds everyone to call before you dig. We also have a character called Rosie, and she's a skunk, and she reminds everyone what to do when you smell gas. But Gus is here. We do kid programming as well. We'll be doing some school visits with Gus. We have live characters, so we're welcome to, we would love to take the invitation to visit a school and talk to some kids, because we know kids hold their parents accountable and the message will get into the household. And so it's good that you mentioned children, because, do bring your kids out. We'll have some snowballs and things for them. And Gus, you may even see Gus.
Awesome. And sometimes kids get curious. They may go out and I'm going to plant and surprise mom. And so it's just good for them to know about 811 and about there's precautions before you go out into the yard to start digging.
That's right.
Absolutely. And people can also find more information regarding the 811 process at the Louisiana811.com website. If you click on our resources tab, there are some video trainings online that both in English and in Spanish, where they can take the time to learn a little bit more about what those colors of those flags mean and those marks in the ground, and also some of the rules that they might want to follow as well.
So it's safe to say that it's simple. Call 811 before you dig.
That's right. You dig?
You dig?
Can you dig it?
Can you dig it? I can dig it. And if you want to dig it a little bit more, you heard JP. One more time, what is that website for more resources?
Louisiana811.com.
All right, Louisiana811.com. You dig? We'll see you next time.